So when the California government puts its considerable weight and might behind controlling yet another resource or nudging the population, it's not often that a grassroots groundswell can persuade bureaucrats and legislators alike to abruptly change course. It's even less likely when a de facto lobbying group for said cause is at best indifferent to the situation or at worst complicit with the state. Yet, that's exactly what happened here in the People's Republic of California. This was a classic case of the people versus the state of California. And yes, the people won. Let's talk about it this time on K6UDA Radio. All right, my friends, I am back with great news about the state of California Cal Fire issue that I brought up last year. The great news is that Cal Fire has absolutely reversed its position. I had an entire video that I was going to kind of put up on the front end explaining my frustration and what led me to get on board and be passionate about this subject. I decided, you know what? It's not really ham radio related, so I'm gonna just link it here as a separate video if you care to watch it. Fantastic. So, here to present the facts, and just the facts, is Nathan Zelloff, the attorney for the Repeater Group in Shasta County, who, by the way, we come to find out there are over 20 repeater vaults involved in this whole state of California thing throughout the state of California. So this small minority of repeater owners who was railing against me, talking about this was only about 1 or 2 repeaters, that ain't the case. The ARRL is still conspicuously absent from the talks that Cal Fire is having on an ongoing basis regarding this subject. And these are kind of significant talks about, you know, how they're going to do contracts, what's going to be in them, how they're going to get around fees and, you know, and all that good stuff. And the ARRL isn't even at the table. So if you want the ARRL to represent you, California, get a hold of the Pacific Director, get a hold of your section manager, and ask them, why isn't the ARRL at the table with Cal Fire in Sacramento? Please share this video if you think that this is good content. Hit the subscribe, like it, and hit the little bell notification. And if you like my work, please consider supporting me on Patreon or PayPal. Guys, it is Friday the 21st of February, and on the phone with me is Nathan Zelloff, the attorney for the Repeater Group up in Shasta County. Nathan, how are you? And can you tell us if there's any updates to this whole story?
Yes, I'm doing fine. Thank you for asking. And actually today I did have a follow-up conversation with the legal counsel for Cal Fire, and the matter continues to be on the executive team agenda and is discussed at their meetings each month. And since our last update, one of the questions was how many vaults in California had ham equipment. The answer came back, there are 21 of them in the entire state of California that have ham equipment, and few, if any, have current agreements at this point in time. And my fax of December 16th, 2019 continues to properly reflect the facts of this situation. Specifically, there are 0 plans to remove any of the repeaters from California vaults, and there will be no rent charges. Ham radio is to be part of, wrapped into the larger Cal Fire communications network. Ham radio is staying. So I've confirmed this again with legal counsel. And now the objective that's being worked on, and it's a slow process, is that there's to be no charges for use of the ham radios being in these vaults. And the concern has been we have to satisfy the gift of state funds prohibition. And this can be accomplished either by having Department of Governmental Services waive the fees and or have it tied into the Volunteer in Prevention program. So they're working on how to implement this aspect of it. Also, they want to have, and so do I, an agreement to be drafted to formalize this process. And CAL FIRE's legal counsel said that it would basically cover security, accessibility, and oversight. And the objective would be to have one, hopefully simple, short agreement for the entire state of California in these matters. And my next contact is the last week of March 2020 to follow up on these matters. So that's where we stand as of today.
Man, Nathan, that is great news. You've done a wonderful job on this. I've got just a couple of questions there. You've already answered that there's 21 repeaters?
21 vaults in California that have ham radio equipment in them.
And so, as of right now, all of those vaults, there's no plans on removal?
That's a correct statement, and no equipment has been removed. The work that was done and the publicity that you gave, basically the removal of the equipment was stopped, and that was being done on a statewide basis. But that's been stopped now, and we're moving forward in a very positive fashion.
Awesome. Very, very cool. As far as the ARRL involvement in this, has there been any follow-up involvement from the ARRL since you and I last talked?
I'm not aware of any. When I last broached this issue with CAL FIRE's legal counsel, he had advised me that I'm the only person that's been in contact with him on this issue. Whether people have talked to others, I don't know. I'm aware of the ARRL video that's out there that is a complete misrepresentation and basically fabrication of the facts and circumstances of this case. But at this point in time, my emphasis is to keep us moving. We're moving into fire season right now, and that is my objective. To have the repeaters remain and have ham radio operators join into our Shingletown Emergency Radio Plan of Action, and hopefully other hams throughout the state duplicate these efforts.
That is great news, my friend. Thank you so much for updating us. One more question. There's been some nasty rumors floating around Facebook and some of these groups that I'm actually the guy who's trying to get a free repeater out of the state of California. Are you aware if I'm one of the repeater trustees or owners of any of these repeaters?
Nothing has come up with respect to you being an owner, and I'm not aware that you are. Likewise, I am not an owner of any of these repeaters. My sole objective in this matter has been to help ensure that the repeaters stay available for emergency radio use by ham radio operators, specifically in Shasta County here, concerning the fire danger that we face and the complete lack of communications during snow events such as we had February of 2019, where we had zero ability to dial 911 by any fashion.
Wow.
Other than get in through ham radio.
Wow. Yeah. So ham radio is much more than a hobby to you guys up there in the Shingletown area and in Shasta County. Much more than a hobby. This is really a lifeline for you guys, and you depend heavily on repeaters housed in these CAL FIRE vaults.
Yes, I view them as critical. I didn't get into ham radio basically for the hobby. I got into it for basically emergency communications. So until I got into this aspect, I really wouldn't have known what to do with a ham radio.
Wow, that's incredible. That's incredible. Nathan, thank you so much for updating us, and good luck to you in the upcoming fire season. I hope it's a nice, mild year for us. And if anything else comes up, please don't hesitate to get a hold of me. I just might take up the mantle again.
All right, and I again want to thank you for all of your great assistance in bringing this matter to the attention of ham radio operators.
Great.
You did a great job.
Great. Thank you.
Okay, and 7-3.
7-3. So while this is a big victory for ham radio in California and across the nation, I am cautiously optimistic. You know, you never know if the state of California is going to try to pull this again in another year after the heat has died down. Now, we didn't get this victory because I made such a great video or Nathan did such a wonderful job of defending a group of repeater owners up in the north end of the state. No, this was a collective effort. It was because there was thousands and thousands of people, ham radio operators, MCOM professionals, and concerned citizens that took the time to act and get involved. The state of California most likely wasn't expecting any pushback, and they certainly weren't prepared to handle the amount of pushback that they got. That's what got us the victory, was the fact that so many people got involved. And you know what? On behalf of ham radio in the northern state, and I guess across California, in rural California, thank you so much. Now I know that there's some guys out there who believed what the ARRL put out in basically their slanted news stories the first week that this broke. And I know that some of these guys are still pissed off at me to this day, but guys, they were misled. And if you're one of the guys watching this, yes, you were misled by the ARRL. It's hard to argue that the state of California was 100% correct in what they did, as the ARRL put it, when the state of California has completely reversed itself and done a 180 in its policy. So it wasn't about no free rack space after all. As for calling out the ARRL, I don't do this to be spiteful. I do this so the organization understands that it just can't put out anything they want without doing their homework and getting the story right. A little bit of investigation on their part could have gone a long way. They could have absolutely, when this broke, they could have said, we're investigating this and we'll get back to you. And that's all it would have taken. I sincerely hope that the league learns from this and betters itself. And for those few that still refuse to believe that the ARRL screwed the pooch on this royally, well, you can't fix stupid now, can you? Guys, let me know what you think about this in the comments below. I really want to hear from you. And, remember, thumbs up on the video, hit the subscribe, hit the bell notification right next to it. Check out my Patreon and consider supporting my work. That's all I've got this time. I'm Bob, K6UDA. I'm out of here. 7-3.